All right, we back at it. Craftmatic, back at it. Acrobatic with the. Content type music and art. Hell no. Hmm. What the hell I wanna? Let me see. Mm-mm. Had to update my
Dropping this shit in here. That's what we doing, man. Four. Dirty one. Oh, man.
Men were thrown out of Top Golf for pouring up cough syrup in public and claimed the establishment was being racist. This is degenerate activity. See, this is shit right here. This is why Black Americans get
Yeah, alright. I see what's going on, man.
We do weird shit like this. Get kicked out and claim racism. Then pull that shit up. Like, I hate generalization. You can't generalize me with these fucking weirdos, but bruh. Like literally, you get secondhand embarrassment for this type of shit, and I shouldn't be getting secondhand embarrassment from these fucking goons.
I'm sorry.
Shit is crazy. But when it's time to be held accountable for their action. Oh my god. When are we gonna be adults? Like when are we gonna be fucking adults, man? But that shit really taking off. I done got the damn near 10,000 views already. 1,000 likes. Let's get it, man. I had 160 followers Probably about what, 2 months ago. That's what that truth gets you. I done beat out my following. Ooh, excuse me. I still fussing under my shit. This stuff has been going on for years in San Francisco. They had plenty of time to fix it. That would mean they have to admit they caused it. They'll never do that. How the fuck? I had 160 followers probably about what, 2 months ago. Not just black, they aren't rich, plenty of poor white people too, for sure. Facts. I grew up with poor white people. Like, so I know. That's why I see like so many people in my generation, like, bro, a lot of people grew up around poor people from all different cultures. And to get older and just hear the TV tell them some shit and them to run with it is insane to me. California, like how corny is California though? They really called for a resolution and voted 8-3 in support of a ceasefire in another country, but neglect everything in their own fucking state and country. At this point, they need to just saw California off and push that shit out into the Pacific, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Go be a part of whatever. Just get the hell out of America. It's such an embarrassment. Such a fucking embarrassment. To Hunter, what kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? No way. Somebody really has to do that? Hold up, man. Why this shit buffer? Like, don't buffer me right now. I need to see this.
Chairman, excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Oh. No way.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
How do you walk out of a congressional hearing like that?
Okay. What crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What crack do you
Listen, I don't. Hey, take news. I don't sleep with vaccinated women. Hey, you better not. Your son gonna come out with 3 legs.
For 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Kind of burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
For 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Kind of burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
For 5 minutes.
He said, "Hey, Nakamoto said if you could make one unhealthy food super healthy, what would it be?" This dude said beer. I agree. Noodles is definitely something I would love to see healthy. Let's try public health again. Added me to the list of ignorant losers and racists. Oh, wow. I'm gonna add you to the block list, bitch. Fuck is you talking about? Add me to a list of what? Oh, okay. Ain't on the list of nothing, pussy. Fuck is you talking about, man? They better quit playing with me. I'm telling you, somebody coming to my live stream on that garbage, boy, you get your ass cooked like Grandma Sunday dinner. Add me to nothing. You just added your ass to the block list. What the fuck is you talking about? Oh my God. People better quit fucking playing with me.
This could not be further from the truth.
A state of emergency is declared by the mayor in Eagle Pass, Texas, as the surge of migrants crossing the border continues.
More than 302,000 migrant encounters at the U.S.-Mexico border in December, marking the highest monthly total ever recorded.
Processing centers and shelters filled to capacity.
They came from all over the world: China, Venezuela, and Guatemala.
House Speaker Mike Johnson and GOP colleagues are heading to the border this week to get a first-hand look at the migrant crisis.
Today, we got a first-hand look at the damage and the chaos the border catastrophe is causing in all of our communities. It took less than 6 months for the Biden administration to dismantle 100 years of progress that the U.S. Border Patrol had achieved. One thing is absolutely clear. America is at a breaking point. Every state in America is now a border state.
Well, we saw people coming across the river, coming across the Rio Grande as we were standing there talking with Border Patrol agents and people from the Texas Highway Patrol. So it's as real as it gets.
I saw migrants, illegal migrants, crossing the river, across the little canal, came up the riverbank and squeezed between freight cars and concertina wire.
We were at one facility that is meant to hold 1,000 people. Last week they held over 6,000 people.
The Biden administration needs to enforce the laws that are already on the books.
Reinstate Remain in Mexico, reinstate Title 42, eliminate catch and release. Those are policies changes that can be made tomorrow.
Hundreds of thousands of Americans dead to fentanyl. Tens of thousands of young people trafficked into sex slavery. Billions of dollars wasted.
But we are united in making sure House Republicans' top priority is securing this border.
But we have a job to do. The American people are absolutely sick of the policies that they've seen under the Biden administration, and we will hold the line and we will fight to make sure H.R. 2 is passed.
This administration has no answers and no will to tackle this issue. Our GOP colleagues get it, our speaker gets it, and we will solve this issue. And the president needs to step up and do his part, along with Alejandro Mayorkas.
Nobody has ever committed treason like he has, on the level that he has. Fuck him too. They should have been impeached him. Like, that's crazy. Like, you know, I'm not proud of it. I've been to jail before. You know, like, and other people have for petty shit. But these people can break federal laws and just walk around like shit is all good. It's disgusting. They say nobody's above the law, but they show you that shit is a lie every day. Mm. They had my shit set up as music and art. Who the hell ever did that? Ooh, excuse me. Gotta go to work in a little bit.
Was confused too. Cassidy educated me and said, no, honey, you're straight. Don't you look at me like a woman? I said, yeah. She's like, so where do you find the word gay? And that's when I realized, yeah, I'm not gay at all. I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity, and that's exactly what I got right here.
I was just very much confused.
I was confused too. Cassidy educated me and said, no, honey, you're straight. Don't you look at me like a woman? I said, yeah. She's like, so where do you find the word gay? And that's when I realized, yeah, I'm not gay at all.
Where do you find the word gay? You can't just change the fucking definition of words. Studies show that men's testosterone has been in decline for decades. What's your source? Bro, do you even see yourself right now? Yo, this shit is crazy.
I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity, and
I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity. That shit is weird as hell. That shit is super weird. Gen Z is the most damaged fucking generation this country has ever seen. If Hunter Biden don't go to fucking prison for the shit he did, bro, they gonna have a lot of people in this country pissed, bro, not wanting to follow laws. Because if people see that the laws are for them and not everybody else, bro, it's gonna be a real fucking problem, bro. I'm telling you. They think crime is bad now. Wait do people feel like justice only swings one way, which it only does. But watch people fucking get pissed about that shit. How you smoking crack and gun violations and all that, you don't go to prison? I got homies that went to prison for little bags of weed, like for getting caught with weed. Like one of my homies went to the feds over weed, bro, and a gun. Like Hunter Biden is doing all type of bullshit, bro, and I ain't been arrested yet. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot of people say fuck the laws in this country if they don't start showing justice is all around, man. Nobody want to follow no fucking laws.
I get a call from one of my friends who had just visited this flea market, and he said that they have a bunch of cool stuff. Me, flea markets, cool shit, I'm in there. I go to this flea market in this very rural area in Indiana. Now, this is deep red Indiana territory. Fits perfectly down there with Alabama and Mississippi. I walk in and I see it is a large crowd of older white people, 50 and up. They are looking at me like I just walked off of a UFO. As I'm walking around, I'm seeing a lot.
Deep red. Oh yeah, it's 2024 and white people looking
Of
at you like you
Confederate
stepped out the
flag
UFO.
themed
Man, get the fuck out
memorabilia.
of here.
So with all these white people here, I said I'm going to buy one
I'm
of these
guessing they don't have
flags because
TVs.
I
They
want to
never
see
been out
what
in
their
the world.
reaction is to a
I'm
black
so sick
guy
of this
buying a
bullshit.
Confederate flag. So I got it and I'm carrying it very visibly so everybody can see that I have it. And I definitely got their attention. I'm in line and this younger white dude says, man, I got to ask you, why you buying the Confederate flag? And I can tell he asked what a lot of people were wondering. So a lot of ears start to tune in. And I asked him, what do you think I got it for? And he said, hopefully to burn it or wipe your ass with it. I got a teammate. The room was full of people that were like his racist grandparents he didn't like. Immediately after he says that, an older white lady says,
"That's so unpatriotic. Why would you want to be disrespectful to American heritage?"
And I'm like, youngster, stand down. I got this. Ma'am, you are right and you are completely wrong about something. You are right about the fact that it is American heritage, but it is a side of American heritage. And that side wanted to preserve the institution of slavery and felt that blacks were subhuman.
Okay, and that side is the Democrat fucking party, who always been the party of the KKK, and they were the Confederate party, who fucking left the Union and created a Confederacy. But how is a black dude his age this fucking dumb?
So
How does
it
he not
is
know that?
American
Talking
heritage,
about
but it is
deep red,
reflective
bruh.
of the team
Democrats and
that
KKK
you are
are
playing
blue.
on when it comes to
Talking about
American
deep red
heritage.
state.
And
What
what
the
you are
fuck?
completely
Like,
wrong
people are so
about is the
uneducated.
Confederacy is the most unpatriotic.
See, now I gotta chime in on this shit.
Group of people in American history. Patriotism is loyalty to your country and the person chosen to run your country. In this case, Abraham Lincoln was elected president of the United States, and the United States had chose a direction, and the Confederacy did not agree with that and wanted to succeed from the United
People are not that smart, bro. It's sad. And this dude is a fucking dummy. I don't have time for the bullshit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me.
For 5 minutes.
People are not real. And it's funny, Hunter Biden, the only person that can get up and walk out of a fucking congressional hearing. Lock that pussy up. This is a fucking weird day, man. Finding out that Ron DeSantis is programs for Jewish people. Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is this dude doing? Doing communion, eating a whole bunch of bread and shit. All that blasphemy shit he doing.
I think he should be hauled off to jail series. But Hunter Biden, you were too afraid to show up for a deposition. And you still can't today. I believe that Hunter Biden should be held completely in contempt. I think he should be hauled off to jail right now. Because it wasn't long ago, too, my friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power of a congressional subpoena. Not long ago at all. You believed in holding those who refused to comply with a congressional subpoena accountable. And I stood with each and every one of you. I am the only member in this room today who has held a member of my own party in contempt of Congress for not showing up for a subpoena. And I see nothing but complete hypocrisy on the other side of the aisle. But Hunter Biden, you were too afraid to show up for a deposition. And you still can't today.
Oh, you can't expect Democrats to do what you did. You piece of shit, traitors. I don't even know why she expect them to even hold up the end of the bargain, bro. These people, anybody who's a fucking Democrat is a traitor to America. Like, you're a lying piece of shit. That's part of what being a Democrat is. Hating America and being a lying piece of shit. Pink and purple hair, shave heads. Now I have to know, do they dye their hair and then shave their heads, or shave their heads and dye their hair? I don't know. It's a good question. This is America. How the fuck does Michael Jordan BMW getting sold make major news? Oh, God.
You need to sacrifice.
Sam Spade.
What a tough guy you once were.
This really is the end of the world.
This is crazy.
Sound good?
Well, thank you all for watching. The beloved Miss Tenaple has been reading your comments saying, my shirt looks like a Star Trek uniform, Captain Kirk. And another friend, Neil Johnson, says, I look like I'm in a prison jumpsuit. So thank you guys for that. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug Tenaple. This is where all the happy patriots are. But let's go into someone very unhappy. Not just the ladies of The View who are terrified, but Michelle Obama herself is interviewed on a new podcast and just spelling fear-mongering and which is good news because they all know Trump is winning.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama visited Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast and shared her biggest concern about the 2024 election and whether people realize what's at stake. Take a look.
Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting?
I think the best reason why Democrats aren't voting is because you're not running, Michelle. And she gives no hint about if she's going to run or not in this terrifying interview. No, that makes me happy to know that she's not running. I want you guys to keep running Biden. Just throw him in a wheelbarrow, roll him out there. He won't know where he is. Go ahead and run him again. He'll be easier to beat.
Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, Those are the things that keep me up.
Does Viagra keep you up?
What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen.
She can't say exactly what she's terrified of. They're really only afraid of Trump winning, which is the one thing I'm really looking forward to.
Because our leaders matter. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God, does government do everything for us?
Government does everything for you. You didn't build that, as Barack Obama said, taking credit for everything businesses do. Government does everything for us. That's Michelle's vision. That's what Democrats think of the government. It's ridiculous.
And we cannot take this democracy for granted.
And no, it's not a democracy. It's a republic. You can't take the republic for granted. Democracy, who cares?
And careful with polling, but Joe Biden is about where Jimmy Carter was before he didn't win re-election.
Yes. More wins announced.
I think she's saying something important. The one thing we all agree on at this table is that Donald Trump is a threat to the future of this country.
He's a threat to the future of your Marxist vision of the future. He's a threat to your leftist takeover of our lives, of making us not use gas stoves, of jailing people for J6 for having free speech, of taking candidates' names off a ballot like Trump in Colorado and Maine, of you excusing rich kids' school loans just to buy their votes.
And if we get to a place where he's the nominee, there's a non-zero chance he beats Joe Biden, and this great American experiment can kind of fall apart. So I think she's rightly ringing alarm bells.
Now they're doing the full-blown terror campaign of if Trump wins, the democracy falls apart. They've already announced that it's over. Democrats have no interest in the Constitution. They call it living, breathing. They don't even believe in the words. They destroyed America 40 years ago.
Where we talked about this theme of when he first started running, it was, I'm saving the soul of the country. And I think it really resonated. This theme of I'm saving this country, I'm saving this country's democracy. I don't know that that is resonating as much with young voters. I don't think it's resonating as much with voters that feel that their station in life is not what it should be.
I agree with Sunny as she rips on Biden, saying that he's running to defend democracy. So therefore, I'm telling Biden, keep doing it. Good idea. I'm glad you're doing that, you guys. Don't change that course. Keep running on democracy again.
And I'm also echoing her concerns about education and voter engagement, because she said, I am hyper-focused on this lack of voter engagement. And that's where I am. I mean...
What does she mean, education and voter engagement? They have hijacked the fucking minds of Gen Z. Like the whole group of young people damn near, man, except for a few. They hijacked these kids' fucking minds, but I didn't want to talk about it. It's because that bullshit story just didn't resonate with people.
The people act like these voters can actually be brought back into the fold if you just manipulate them enough, if you just sweet talk them enough. How about your voters are not engaged because they despise your candidates and they don't like what Biden did for the last 3 years after voting for him last time? They learned a lesson going, I better stay out. It's not going to help voting for this guy.
They have to understand, these kids, is that we've never had a sociopath running for president in this country before.
Or who was president.
I like how she corrects Joy there. She goes,
We didn't have a sociopath running for president, but Bill Clinton was actively raping women while he was in office.
We've never had a sociopath. And then Sonny Hostin goes, other than the last time when Trump was in office in 2016, we had a sociopath. And Joey forgot.
So what's going on?
If he was a big sociopath, how did we survive with the lowest black unemployment since the 1950s?
Well,
we never had that before.
You know what scares me more than anything is the fact that we live in a world where cheating is possible.
And now get ready for the big one. Now they're pulling out the big guns. Cheating is coming to 2024. When Trump wins, Whoopi and all
Yeah,
y'all
if you like that
Democrats
cheated
coming out and
2020
going, there was
fake
cheating
ballots
at
and
the
shit.
ballot box. I called it years ago. We're going to wait for it. And of course, will they get their channels destroyed for saying that? No, they're going to get a raise and a promotion.
And I'm not worried about what the voters are going to do. Yeah. I'm worried about people like Elise Stefanik, who says, I may not certify the election.
So Whoopi's calling out Elise Stefanik, who is only repeating what 20 other Democrats have said.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch.
10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
Is the objection in writing and signed?
And you know what's crazy?
Not
They
only
tried
by
to
the member
uncertified Donald Trump election, and guess who
of the House of Representatives, but also by a senator.
Joe Biden was like, "Yo, we're not even
signed
doing
by a
all
senator?
that shit.
Not as of yet.
I'm not even going."
In that case, the objection cannot be
Best thing
entertained.
Joe Biden.
Even more than that, since the year 2000, that they would not certify the election. They were looking for an alternate.
Mr. President, I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the electoral votes were not.
Debate.
You had major actors and political figures say it. So suddenly,
I have an objection to the electoral votes.
The objection is in writing, and I don't care that it is not signed by a member of the Senate. I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter
There
of
is no
objection?
debate.
so Whoopi suddenly makes it sound like Elise Stefanik made up the idea. No, Democrats have used it more than Republicans ever did. Get educated.
I don't know what to do and how to convince people that when people like Stefanik say, I'm not going to certify it, and then other folks who are elected officials say, well, I'm not going to certify it either. I don't know.
And Whoopi's acting like it's brand new. What is brand new is we've never had a presidential candidate's name taken off the ballot. Now that is brand new by your party. She's not worried about it.
I don't know what that does to our democracy. So democracy for me is at stake because everything that I know that is tied to it is questionable now because of the way people are doing stuff.
They're already prepping you for their big argument they're going to roll out that democracy is over. By the way, it'd probably be good if democracy was over so they'd finally understand that we live in a republic, not a mob of a popularity contest. What do you guys think in the comments below? Is Michelle Obama bringing up fear-mongering? Is The View going to deny the election results in 2024? I'm Doug in
They must have
exile.
forgot about it. And I believe they are, Doug. I believe they are.
So here's my, first of all, in the Democratic primary, because I'm a registered Democrat in New York, I will be voting for Marianne Williamson. Very happy and proud to say that. I'm the chief Marianne Williamson bro out there. I'm leading the charge. Now, in New York, I'm in a safe state. So would I vote for Cornel West in New York? Yes, because I have a 95% agreement with him on policy. And I think it would be nice to get the Green Party in a position where if they become more viable because we get ranked choice voting or something, it'd be nice to grow their popularity a little bit. And when we get ranked choice voting, I think they kind of automatically become a lot more viable. So I'd like to help out in that process. But if I'm in a swing state and it's Biden versus Trump, I'm at the point now where I don't even think it's a tough call. I would definitely vote for Biden because either in that situation, even if other people are running, either the Democrat or the Republican is going to win. And in my estimation, Biden has definitely passed what I would describe as my bare minimum purity test. And I think if it's him or Trump, or even him or DeSantis or anybody, he just blows them out of the water. And so I think I'd happily vote for Biden in that instant.
So does the Florida party then effectively canceling the Democratic primary also constitute voter suppression? I can't speak to that. Why not?
You have to speak to the campaign or the DNC.
Does the White House have any thoughts on
I can't.
those voters voters being?
I can't speak to that.
Is it because of the Hatch Act, or?
You're talking about 2024 election. You're talking about a primary. I'm just not going to speak to that from here.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about another leftist getting a reality check when it comes to the Democrat Party and their talking points on democracy, aka their dictatorship. Okay, and the leftist that we got to talk about here is Kyle Kalinske. Okay, the host of Secular Talk. He's a progressive who has gotten a lot of heat from his progressive friends because he's come out here and said that, hey, I'm going to support Biden, right? I'm going to support Biden over Trump because Biden is much better than Trump. Now, I don't sure exactly in what world can anybody with two brain cells to rub together say, oh, well, I'm going to vote for Biden because Biden is better than Trump, right? Again, I'm not sure exactly who can say that with a straight face at this point in this country, but hey, you still have some people living in a delusional world here, okay? And Kyle Kalinske, along with Cenk Uygur, who is his colleague, Cenk oftentimes comes out here and talks about how Trump is such a big threat to democracy and how that's the difference between Democrats and Republicans, okay? Trump is a threat to democracy, right? But yet, Cenk, who is not eligible to be president, by the way, and he's running for president regardless of the fact that he's not eligible to be president, he's saying the hard way that Democrats actually really don't believe in democracy because they're essentially canceling their primaries, okay? They're canceling their primaries because they don't want anybody challenging Biden as the Democrat nominee. Now, this is being swept under the rug by the mainstream liberal media. The mainstream liberal media is not talking about it. I don't think that the right-wing media is talking about it enough. I feel like I'm the only person in the right-leaning media that is actually really talking about this. And this is something I think we should clearly be talking about, is the fact that Democrats are openly overthrowing democracy in states like North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. Now, what I want to react to here is this naive leftist, Kyle Kalinske, who is out here carrying Joe Biden's water, right? He is going to get a reality check on the fact that Democrats, again, don't really believe in democracy because they are canceling the primaries. And I want to react to it because it's hilarious to watch leftists melt down over something that they complain about the other party doing, except, like I said, the Republican Party, they're a lot more democratic than the Democrats, right? At least with the Republican primary, it is rigged to a certain extent, okay? But they only can rig it but so much, right? That's why Trump is actually able to win, because if they could have it their way, they would actually try to rig it against Trump. They tried to in 2016. Didn't work, right? In the Democrat primary, though, you don't really get a choice, okay? It really is the illusion of democracy, okay? You don't have a chance if you're not the establishment pick. So without further ado, let's react to this because, again, it's hilarious to watch leftists melt down over things that Democrats are doing, okay? So without further ado, let's get into it.
You have Trump, who's now not only the favorite to win the primary, but also the favorite to win the general election, while at the same time having 91 criminal charges and being found liable of fraud and maybe might get kicked off the ballot. Everything is just chaos, right? Well, we're adding another element to that here. So this is from WRAL from North Carolina. Biden won't face any competition in North Carolina's 2024 Democratic primary, state election officials confirm. Now, that's one way to write the headline. Another way to write the headline is Democrats end democracy in North Carolina. Democrats go full authoritarian in North Carolina.
It's so funny to me, bro. It's so funny to hear a leftist say this, okay? Because at the end of the day, right, these people kick, scream, and cry about the Republican Party being authoritarian, right, or Trump being authoritarian. When, again, the Republicans aren't doing this, okay? They aren't going this far when it comes to their authoritarianism, right? And, again, the conversation in the mainstream media is all about how Republicans and Trump are trying to overthrow democracy when literally that is what Democrats are doing in their own primary. And the mainstream media won't talk about it, right? They won't address it at all, okay? It's fascinating stuff what has happened. It is a complete blackout in the mainstream liberal media in regards to what is happening in the Democrat primary, why they come out here and warn about how Trump is such a big threat to their so-called democracy. Again, it tells you how disingenuous these people are, right? And what democracy actually really means, right? To them, it actually really means dictatorship. That's actually really what it means, okay? And the mainstream liberal media is complicit and they're on board with this, okay? 100%. Because if they were actually fair and balanced, if they weren't massive hypocrites, the biggest story in the country right now in regards to the threat to democracy would be the fact that Democrats literally are not allowing anybody to run against Joe Biden in a number of states across the country, okay? That would be the biggest story in the country if the mainstream liberal media actually cared about democracy as much as they claim. They spent all this time boohoo whining about January 6th when Democrats are straight up doing something worse than what happened on January 6th, okay? I'm so serious, right? They're doing something much worse than that. And there's crickets and silence.
And we don't want to have an election. We're just going to not have it. What? Weren't you guys sucking yourselves off in the last election? Like, we're the ones who believe in democracy. And Donald Trump is against it. Yeah. Anyway, ban the Democratic race here. Thank you. Appreciate it. The state's top election officials confirmed the North Carolina Democratic Party's request to have President Joe Biden alone on the ballot in the primary election, rejecting potential Democratic challengers Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, and Cenk Uygur. Now, hold. There's a debate to be had, and even Cenk would acknowledge this, around Cenk.
Yo.
Because there is
no debate. Cenk is not eligible to be president, okay? And, with that being said, does that mean that he can't be on the Democrat primary ballots? And the primaries aren't actually real elections, okay? They're just simply nomination processes. So technically, the Democrats can nominate whoever they want, okay? But with that being said, there is no debate around Cenk. Cenk is not eligible to be president of the United States. Him running is just a grift. That's what it is. And that's also a threat to the Constitution, right? He's literally attacking the Constitution, right? That's what Cenk is doing.
Legal gray area. Is he allowed to run as a naturalized citizen? He's not a natural born U.S. citizen. He's a naturalized citizen. Some people interpret the Constitution that naturalized citizens can't run. Others say, no, they have equal rights now, so they are allowed to run. I will grant you that there is a debate around Cenk's ability to run.
There is no debate. Cenk is just delusional, right? Just like the rest of you leftists.
And again, I think he would even acknowledge that.
You weren't born in America, you can't fuck
There is no
around.
debate around Marianne Williamson or Dean Phillips. There is no debate around that. But they said, nope, no primary. We've decided no primary. But guys, just so you understand, don't be naive. This is what pulling the strings behind the scenes looks like. This is what happens when the White House makes a phone call to the Democratic Party of North Carolina. It says, hey, you know all those things you want from us? You know these funds and that funds and X, Y, and Z? Well, maybe you'll get them. Maybe you'll get even more than that if you do this for us. Maybe you get none of it if you don't. This is what that stuff looks like. This wasn't just like, we are going to make an ideological and principled decision to not have a Democratic race. No, this was shadow politics behind the scenes, cigar-filled back rooms, making phone calls. That's what this is. All right. So
I want you to understand, this guy is going as far as to say that Biden himself, right? The Biden White House is behind this, right? This is not just an independent decision of the North Carolina Democrat Party. This is his theory, by the way. This is what he's saying. That Biden himself, the guy that he's supporting, right? Because he's so much better than Trump, right? According to Kyle Kalinske. This is the decision of Biden's White House, okay? And the national level Democrat Party saying, in these states, we are going to cancel primaries. We're not going to hold elections. This is what he's saying.
Let me read you something. President Joe Biden will be the only Democratic candidate for president in North Carolina's 2024 primary elections. The state's top election officials confirmed that decision Tuesday in a 5-0 vote, shooting down potential Democratic challengers Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, and Cenk Uygur. By the way, I love that we're going to give ourselves the vote to block your vote. What? Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you to have a veto power overriding what's supposed to be a Democratic election. Jesus Christ. Tuesday's vote by North Carolina State Board of Elections echoed its initial decision made in December based on the North Carolina Democratic Party's request to have Biden alone on the ballot. At the time, North Carolina Democratic Party spokesman Tommy Maddox told WRAL that Biden has been the only candidate seriously campaigning in North Carolina. Excuse you? Biden's not campaigning anywhere. There's no... Biden hasn't even released an agenda for 2024. Never mind.
The agenda is to attack Trump, right? To scream and cry about January 6th and to talk about abortion, right? That is the Democrats' agenda in 2024. I'm telling you, I know what the Democrat platform is going to be. Orange man bad, January 6th, abortion, right? That's the only thing you're going to hear about from Democrats for the next, 6 to 8 months, right? That's the only thing you're going to hear from them, okay? Because they have nothing else. Everything else across the board, crime, foreign policy, the border, inflation, the economy, whatever, right? They're terrible, okay? They're like, Biden's getting destroyed in the polls across the board, right? Doesn't matter what the issue is. So they don't have an agenda because, quite frankly, nothing that they say, nothing that they're doing is working. People don't agree with their agenda. So therefore, they're just going to sit around and talk about Trump, January 6th, and abortion, while at the same time screaming about the so-called threat to democracy as they overthrow democracy. And this is why the mainstream liberal media won't talk about it. This is why they won't touch this topic with a 10-foot pole, right? The reason why they're not touching it is because if they actually covered this topic accurately, that takes away any type of talking points, okay, that Democrats can use in 2024. That literally eliminates the whole, well, Trump is a threat to democracy talking point, okay, because clearly, Democrats don't believe in democracy either, right? Which means that the only thing they would have to run on would be abortion, right? The only thing they can come out here and talk about would be abortion. This is why the mainstream liberal media is not talking about it. They're never going to talk about it, because if they talk about it, it literally takes away the number one and the only talking point that they have, and really, they don't have that talking point because anybody that's actually paying attention can see that Democrats don't believe in democracy. I mean, this is something that, even leftists like Kyle Kalinske knew back in 2016 when the primary allegedly was rigged in favor of Hillary Clinton. And then once again, in 2020, the primary being rigged in favor of Joe Biden. So again, these people know, all these people that are coming out here and peddling this idea that Trump is a threat to democracy know damn well that the OG election deniers are the Democrat Party, that the primary riggers are the Democrat Party, but yet they still carry water for the Democrat Party, and this is why Democrat Party doesn't change.
Mine held rallies? What are you talking about? In order to get on the ballot, you need to have donors in the state and be actively campaigning in the state, he told WRAL last month, adding that the rule is the standard that we have used in all previous cycles. Who are we kidding here? First of all, the reason why you wouldn't go campaign in North Carolina is because at the moment, people, of course, are focused first and primarily on first and foremost on the primary in New Hampshire, and the Republicans are at least in Iowa. But by the way, I don't even know if this is true. You'd have to ask Marianne Williamson, hey, have you gone to North Carolina? Maybe she has. She probably has, right? So it should... What, do you have like a minimum hour requirement that they need to be in North Carolina for them to be official in your eyes? Like, what are we doing here? You're going to put quotas on how much time they have to spend in the states in order to just get on the ballot? What are you talking about? Jesus. Phillips, a Minnesota congressman, Williamson, a self-help author, and Uyghur, a progressive podcaster, are all running for the Democratic Party nomination against Biden, but the state Democratic Party declined to recommend any of their names for the primary election ballot, and none of them formally petitioned to be added to the ballot, a process in North Carolina that requires getting 10,000 signatures to show support.
Yeah, so with that being said, right, what you can see here is that you have a leftist who, hey, he's going to vote for Marianne Williamson in his state, apparently, okay? But in other states like North Carolina, for example, Florida, Tennessee, these states where Democrats are essentially not holding primaries, the progressives in those states aren't going to get a chance to vote for who they want to vote for because Democrats aren't going to give them the chance to. Right? But these same people will come out here and continue to carry water for the Democrat Party, try to pretend that, Trump is the real threat to democracy, right? Republicans are the threat to democracy, January 6th, okay? While Democrats do something that's even worse than January 6th. Again, this is why they spend so much time on January 6th, okay? On, Trump's a threat to, because it's projection. They're projecting. The most violent people in this country when it comes to politics are far leftists, right? The people that go out of their way to try to overthrow democracy the most are Democrats. And this is why they scream so loud about it, because they're projecting what they do onto other people, right? That's exactly what's happening. So again, you know, it's just funny to me to watch leftists melt down over Democrats. Again, basically just, you know, telling them that, hey, you don't get a choice, right? You don't get to participate in our democracy, while at the same time, you know, talking about how the other guy, the other party is a threat to democracy, so you shouldn't vote for them. And that's why these leftists look so stupid, right? Especially people like Cenk Uygur, who is running a Democrat primary, that comes out and talk about how much of a threat Trump is to democracy, while at the same time experiencing firsthand how much Democrats don't really believe in democracy. It's pretty hilarious stuff, right? It really is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Law to adhere to congressional directives to secure the homeland. And the failure to secure the homeland has been so significant, so catastrophic, that Congress must use its power to provide accountability. We must be the check and the balance against such an extremely egregious breach of public trust, and that's what this is. And if not this effort, then I ask my Democrat colleagues, what effort? Where is your answer to accountability? Where is your Article 1 authorities to check the executive branch?
Will the gentleman yield to answer the question?
No, the answer from the other side simply cannot be that we're powerless. And I ask rhetorically, if not this effort, then how do we hold this failure? And you'll have your chance to wax poetic on that. Let's just go through the numbers. Fiscal 23, 27,000 pounds of fentanyl was seized. That's what was seized. That's not all that entered this country. Mr. Chairman, the Speaker of the House has put together a document, and it goes step by step for the actions the administration has taken since January 20th of 2021. President Biden terminated the national emergency at the southwest border. President Biden issued an executive order further entrenching DACA program. Biden unveiled the U.S. Citizenship Act, which would provide amnesty. The administration issued an executive order ending limitations and restrictions on immigration without certain countries associated with terrorism. Then Secretary Mayorkas delivered remarks effectively explaining the border is open for illegal immigration by stating that DHS's focus would be on processing. On and on and on. Mayorkas issued a memorandum prohibiting enforcement of immigration laws in certain areas, including schools, healthcare, and facilities. Mayorkas terminated migrant protection protocols. Mayorkas issued a memorandum that states the fact that an individual is removable alien should not be the sole basis of an enforcement action. I want to enter this with the unanimous consent into the record, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to seek unanimous consent.
So ordered.
So
what is the document?
As I mentioned, the document is from the Speaker of the House, a list of actions. If we can pause the time, please, because this is administrative. This is a list of actions that the administration has taken.
I'm about to head to
since
work.
January 20th.
Get ready to head to work, and I'll be back later on. We're gonna get on their head even more later on when I get back, man. Appreciate everybody stopping through the stream. Check y'all out later.